But before we get into that, I need to discuss something with you. And no one really prepares you for that first year of your business. They really don't. And you got to look at that. Like, you can see my ashy hands, right? But I'm going to discuss the things that you need to be on the lookout in your first business. And it's a lot. It is really, really a lot. So before we get into that, back into this wonderful beans footage. All right. Your first year in businesses is going to be rough. It's going to be very, very rough. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how crazy it will be, because nobody sits you. Well, I had a few people, after I had a few business failures under my belt, sit down and decide to say, hey, we're going to help you out with this. This is some things you should expect. The first thing that you should look for is you are going to fuck up. Not just a little bit, but a lot. You might be making money. You might be sitting in your desk. Your employees may think that you have it going on, but you will fuck up. You will fuck up somewhere. You will do something. You'll miscalculate, and it's just part of the game. It's just really, really part of how that thing works. It's just part of how you will grow as a business owner. And part of that is putting together your mojo, as I like to call it. When you first start, you've got mojo. Your mojo is hustle, is sweat, is shine, is grind, and you're just moving nothing to something. And let's just break that down. Whenever you are moving something from nothing, you have to look at what's going to happen when you put together your business product or process. You're out there making it happen. You're literally doing financial alchemy. You're taking nothing. You're taking a concept, a product, a service, and you're saying, hey world, I want you to be part of this. And it works. And it starts to work better and better and better. And then one day you are like, this is something real. This is something cool. But with that, I want you to think of, it's like giving birth. It's the closest a male will ever feel, know what it's like to give birth, because your business will put some hair on your chest. It'll put some weight on your ass. It'll do a lot of stuff, because there's so many things that's going to come to you or be at you during that first formation. Like when I went to get my business license, which I went to the website, I did everything that I thought was correct, right? And I really, really thought that going in there and spending my 138 that I was going to come out with my business license. Little did I know this was going to be a 3-week long process. We had signed the lease. We had money going out. We had product in the place, but we could not get our business license, and we could not open. We were able to make Craigslist sales, but it was still kind of, ooh, what are they going to do if they catch us? So you've got all that stuff going on, and it's just really, really rough, especially when you are trying to make money, maintain, and go ahead and have your thing looking nice and crispy. Get your thing going like super cool. It can be a problem. It can clearly be a problem. Now, since you've gone through this huge shift, now let's just say you were an employee. You had your job, you were making money, and then you either got laid off or you decided to start a business. Then you're going through all of this stuff at once. the job stress, the business stress, the personal relationship stress. If you have kids, the kids stress. It can be a lot. And that's why that first year is going to throw you. And that's why many people just give up. And they just give up. They just say, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. This isn't for me. I wasn't built like this. You are crazy. I don't know who does this. I mean, I'll give you an example. Someone that posted in the Facebook group that I have newfound respect for people who make YouTube videos, because he put up his first video and it was very frustrating. A lot of people think it's just super easy, I think it's much easier than it is, because after a while as a YouTuber, you make it look easy. And after a while as a business owner, you make it look easy. So I'm going to give you some of the stuff that happened to me with some of my businesses. And I'm coming from a loftier position. I had 5 business failures, not successes, failures, before I was even out of the military, because I didn't realize how smart that was. I was demoralized. I was depressed. I was like, man, none of this shit works. And the thing is, it wasn't supposed to work because I didn't know how to work it. There's no shame in being ignorant, but it should be a sin to remain ignorant. And that's one of the things that I didn't do. I kept pushing. I kept pushing. I kept learning. I kept changing things up. I kept looking at ways to make things better. And I grew. And also, I was thinking too small. But I'm going to give you some of the stuff from the more successful businesses. Like, I told you about the business license thing, how that messed me up. I didn't know that when you open up a store, I did what I thought was correct. I went and looked at the retail spot. I sat out there in my car and just kind of gauged traffic a few times a week. And I was like, this got great traffic. Now, this is one of the things. I'm going to show you a piece of paper. I'm going to draw. Yeah, I think I got a pen. I'm going to draw the store. And I'm going to draw the road. This was the store. And this was the road. I'm going to even draw some little cars here. The road was super, super busy. Okay, this is my little cheat drawing. But you should be able to see it. Yeah. Okay, you see the store and you see the road. Now, what I didn't know, as people were coming on the road, they were looking like this. So the store was practically invisible. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? The store was practically invisible. Nobody was able to really see it because they had to pay attention, because as they were coming down, because it was a little hill, they were coming down the hill, they were coming to a traffic light. So, and there was a lot of police. There was one police, DeKalb County Police substation just up that strip mall. So there was always cop cars all the way around. So you're like this. You can't be, you would literally have to crank your head to see. And I had no clue, because I was just like, it's a good spot. The rent's a little high, but with the traffic, we had to do all kinds of stuff to get people to come into the store. We had, it was just insane. I remember there was something happening in the store, and I couldn't put product in, so I was offloading stuff from storage units in front of the store, just kind of like in a row, because it's like, all right, well, we'll offload it here and we'll tag it and then put it in the store. Well, little did I know that putting that stuff in that parking lot was one of the biggest things I could do, because that day is the first time we made rent and sales because it was out there. But wait a minute. This is where it gets really, really stupid. Little did I know it was against the DeKalb County ordinance to have all this stuff out front. You could only put stuff on the sidewalk. And you couldn't get that much stuff on the sidewalk, and then neighbors would complain because there was an auto place on one side of us, there was other stores on the other, and then it just got crazy. So we just pushed it. It was like, okay, what's going to be the fine? because we're not making money any other way other than Craigslist sales. Then once our Craigslist sales went up, because I had to figure out a few things, we stopped doing it. But that was the only way that we could literally get traffic in there, was to put a bunch of stuff in the 3 parking spots that were in front of the store. That was it. Sometimes when people would go to the auto place, they would come over and they would they just come up, mosey on over. But that right there was insane. That was just totally, totally insane. Another thing that no one tells you about in their first year of business, and this is something that I'm going to give you a big heads up on. Say you have got your business license, you got your LLC, but you do not have an accountant. I'm going to say this again. Many people are like, hey, Glendon, what about this? What about this? Spend the money, get yourself an accountant. I have fucked up enough to know how to do this stuff. And fortunately, my business partner was an accountant. So she handled that and she kept us out of a lot of trouble. But if you get an accountant, it's going to spend the money. Spend the money, because a lot of people don't know that when you do a single member LLC, that's called a disregarded entity, which means the Internal Revenue Service, for tax purposes, treats that LLC as a sole proprietorship unless you fill out some forms. Usually like the first 60 days you form the LLC. Well, if you don't do that, when it comes tax time, you didn't fill out those forms, and it's just you, they're going to hit you with the 35% tax, and they're going to hit you with the 20% self-employment tax, which is an effective tax rate of 55%. Now, that's never happened to me, but I know people it's happened to. And it is arduous. It's rough. It will really, really dampen Christmas for you. It will take all of the ho, ho, ho out of Christmas for you. And that's just something that you're going out there and you just kind of do it. And that's why I said, get yourself an accountant, find yourself somebody that's going to be on your team. And if you're in a certain industry, find an accountant that works with people in that industry. Being an internet guy, it throws a lot of people. People still don't know where to put this stuff. That's why I say this is like really in the infancy of being a business. It's really in the infancy. The internet thing's really is in its infancy. There's a lot of things that are going on, and people are just not ready for it, and they don't know how to set it up, so to speak. Now, if you are really thinking about doing that first year of business, another thing that happens is who are you selling to will predicate the fuckery that can ensue. And what I mean is, if you're selling B2C, that's business to customer, which is what we went into, but you're selling B2B, oh, let me tell you, there's a lot of fuckery to be had there. Ah, man. I'm bringing back some stories. There was this one guy, his fucking name was Martin. I'll never get him. I'm going to say his last name, but because he's still in business, but he's a complete asshole. When you are selling B2B and you don't know how to navigate getting a deposit, and they want you to operate on a purchase order, you could literally be signing your death certificate of your business if it's one big customer. Because this is what happens. Small one-offs, things that you can absorb, no problem. But when you get that $80,000 deal, that $200,000 deal, and there's a purchase order involved, this is what's going to happen. They're going to tell you to submit that purchase order, and they'll submit it, and it could be 60 to 90 to 120 days before you get paid. Yeah. Now, the paperwork will say something else. It's like all invoices are paid, blah, blah, blah. Many people just don't pay on time. Do not believe that. Some corps pay early, but many people, they will pay you eventually. They're going to pay you. But this is the slippery slope that you're on. You're waiting to get paid, but your business still has requirements that consume cash. So you're scrambling and you're doing this stuff, and while you're waiting to get paid, they are going to pimp you out like you're a $3 whore on Friday night in this Friday night specials. you'll spend a third of your time getting business. You'll spend a third of your time doing business, and you'll spend a third of your time trying to get paid in accounts receivable. That's why all these corporations have account receivables. People whose job is literally to get the company money, because they know it can be a challenge. It could be a big challenge. It could be a super fragilistic challenge. So you've got all that stuff that's going on, and when you don't really think about putting together your business, you have to understand that it creates a big problem when you want to grow your business, or well, let's just be honest. You could go out of business doing this, playing with B2B and purchase orders. What I learned from the boutique firm that I worked in, we didn't do purchase orders. We would just pass the job up. That's what it's like. Don't do it. Don't even worry about it. Keep moving, because if we do that and we have one bad month or people just don't pay us, we're out of business. So we had to get the deposit. And I remember I was working with this big company. It was a Fortune 1000 company, and they're just like, we don't do that. And I was like, if I can find someone in your organization who can approve it, would you go for it? And she's like, we just don't do that. So I did my little trick of calling the CEO's office. You're never going to get the CEO unless it's a really small company. You're just not going to get that person. But I called the CEO, got his assistant, and usually the assistant to the CEO is a bad mofo in the company. They know who does what, they know who to talk to, what department, they know all of that stuff, because they have to filter that information for the CEO. So when you start there, it's just boom, boom, boom. And a really cool trick is to have her or him transfer you to the right department head. So that's an internal call when they answer the damn phone. Then I just said, look, this is what we're trying to do. It's going to be a great deal. And it's like you have to sell your person, you have to sell other people. And that's one of the reasons that B2B is so lucrative, because if you do it well, oh my goodness, you will get paid. And I was managing to get paid, but I made so many mistakes that it just ate up the profit. Because when you're doing office furniture, when you are putting stuff out, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Now, B2B is rough. I mean, straight up, you can make it. If you're doing training, public speaking, an IP type sale, intellectual property, you have the wherewithal to play those games and wait them out until they finally get paid, and it may not be as devastating. But when you are out there selling furniture, car parts, when you're selling something physical that has all of these costs that are put in, such as warehousing, transportation, taxes, all these other things, you have to really, really look at what's going on with your financial health. Another thing that will happen is you have no clue to how hard it would be. You think it's going to be hard. I'm going to tell you it's going to be hard. But when you get in the fire and your forearm hairs are singeing from the heat, you're just like, no, I was like, this is worse than I thought. I remember talking to my boy Mario when they first started, and what he and his partner John did was went out and get several lines of credit while they still had jobs. And damn near if they didn't go through all of them. They went through every last one of them, and then it was just like, I remember he was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna eat this week. It's like, and you can have those conversations with other business owners, but you can't have those conversations with people who are still rooted into their job mentality, because they're just like, wait, eat, whoa, no. You don't need to be saying that to me, man. You keep talking about starting a business. You talking about yeah, we'll get past it. I just heard you say we may not be able to eat. That's a problem in the homestead household. We can't do that. Because Mama Homestead will no, I'm not going through that. It's going to be a struggle, and part of the reason it's such a struggle is because you don't know what you're doing. And many people are just like, you should know what you're doing. If you got a good plan, it should work. No. There's so many unknown variables. I'm going to give you a case of something that happened to a friend who had a great business plan, had tons of cash, was all set up for it, right? Everything was going well. Money was just like, it was just like every day somebody was coming with a bag of money, just shaking it on this table. Then the regulatory environment changed. That bag of money, they went away. See, that's another thing when you're doing something like highly technical, or they could change the law, because he was dealing with healthcare, and it just literally overnight he was out of business. Here online, you can get the Google penalty, or the Google Zoo, as one of my friends calls it. You could seriously be stroking it out with your website, making all kinds of money, putting stuff out there, living large. Then Google says, we're going to throw a Yeti. No, we're going to throw a llama in there. I think there was the penguin. Maybe they already had the llama. All right. The Google llama update. Next thing you know, 75% of the traffic that was coming to your website, gone. What you going to do? You didn't know that was coming. How do you get ready for something that you don't know that's coming? You have to do what I call on-the-fly hustle. It's just, okay, this happened. Like when we were stroking it out with eBay, and the accounts got terminated, and they delisted, like, it took down 2,000 plus listings. We had to go into emergency mode. I was like, well, I'm just going to do Craigslist more. I'll do Craigslist. And then we had to create a contingency plan after the fact. I mean, it was just like, it's like there was this spigot of money, right? And then someone said, there's nothing in there but dust. So stuff like that happens. Now, how do you deal with all this stuff? Because now that I've got you really scared, I have you losing your mind. You're sitting there like, I'm not going to do this business stuff. Well, it's worth it. I know it sounds scary. I know it sounds crazy, but it's worth it, because it's good that your first year of business sucks. It should be, I mean, it's a good thing. I know you're going like, what? What are you talking about, man? Simply put, if your first year of business sucks and you make it through that shit, I mean, it really, really, really sucks. Big, hairy, sweaty monkey balls. And you make it through it. Then when the good times come in, you will appreciate that. Like, you'll be like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. Oh my God. This is so good. Won't have to kill anyone this week. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. I mean, it just makes it's like what happened with real estate agents. You had a bunch of real estate agents that came in at the top of the market, just entered. They just showed up, bam, sold houses, bam. They didn't really have to go through sales prospecting training. They didn't have to struggle because the market was so hot. An idiot could literally make money with real estate. Then the market turned down, and then they had to really learn how to sell. At that point, a lot of real estate agents got out the game because they did not know how to sell, how to move product. Because we had this real estate agent who would come to us, and she got in when shit went like bam, when you couldn't get a loan unless you had bulletproof credit, money in the bank. And just FYI, it's a lot of that shit's come back. You could do a home loan 3% down now. I know someone that recently got pre-qualified, and it was just 3% down. She was saying, I'm glad that I came in the business in this period, because this is probably the worst that it's ever going to be. And I mean, she had a really, really good viewpoint, because when you come in at the bottom of the market, we started at the bottom, now we're here. It's a different perspective. It's a different rhyme. And she's still in business. I checked before I did this, and she's still stroking it out. And she came in like 2008. She weathered the storm. And in her mind now, it's like, I've handled the worst. And she said the only people were doing loans effectively, and she started catering to them, was military, because We got that VA guaranteed loan. Yes, you take your certificate and go boom, 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 and you're in there. And that shit's like amazing what you can do with that VA certificate. Long as you, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But your first year should be hard. It should be brutally hard, because then you'll appreciate future successes. You'll appreciate the things that are coming your way if you continue to work. But I'm here to tell you, I mean, even here as an online entrepreneur, it's going to be rough. There was a dude in the comments, I think his name's Dave. He was talking about how he was feeling some kind of way about himself because he was looking at these people online who are lying their asses off. Well, I make, you know, $300,000 a month, but I live in a studio fucking apartment. Now, understand, I'm a thrifty dude. I totally get thrift. I totally understand making a lot of money and living well below your means. But there's one person, and it's going to come out sooner or later, because what he claims to be making and how he's living is not congruent from, I think he should be balling. It's not congruent because, all right, I can't show you my whole little setup. But from a room standpoint, one day I'll show you. But from a room standpoint, I got this big light right here. I got the mic here. I got this here. I'm in my office. It's just, I know how much space it takes to do the podcast thing, to do your videos and stuff. You don't need a whole room, but if you are stroking it out, and this is something that I'm going to do when I really in the very near future, and another part of this house is I'm going to create a studio. Like, you know, Grant Cardone style. Studio, mics and everything. Just be there, bring guests in. Probably be in the basement. So I will do that and set it up, because it takes space when, you know, I've got this new camera and I'm doing stuff. And I see what it just takes space to do certain things. And just from that standpoint, not balling out, maybe, you know, you can go to the hood and get you a big house, whatever. It's just, it doesn't make sense, because I'm looking at the constraints that I was having in my old place. And I'm like, that place is smaller. So I'm saying all that some people's income reports are true, and some are like Moby Dick, great works of fiction. I'm not calling names, but I've been doing this since 2009. And it's amazing how many people who started with me in 2009 are not here. And people I saw in 2010 are not here. In 2011 are no longer here. They'll come up, they'll blow up real quick. They'll affiliate themselves with the right people. That means sharing each other's email list, which is good. It's not a bad thing, but I'm just like, when I meet someone and I start talking business with them at some kind of convention or a seminar or some kind of, you know, and I start mentioning things and they look at me like, I don't understand your kung fu. I know, I don't know that, because they're not in business. So what I'm saying is, do not go by some of this internet stuff of how you should run your business, because a lot of it is pure fucking fiction. It's just pure fiction. Because when I look at someone and I look at their business skilo, and I was like, okay, because someone had put in the comments, and I haven't researched it yet, but I'm just like, it was talking about this guy sold 5,000 books and he didn't believe in the email list, and it was all about social media and everything. And like I said, I'm going to look at it because I got time today. But I guarantee you, if it's true, there's another real important element to this story. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's take Jenner. What's her name? Kyle Jenner. If Kyle Jenner woke up this morning and said, I'm going to write a book, she would have her pick of publishers. And then she'd go on her Instagram and Twitter and would pre-sell probably 100,000 books before the book's just like, yeah, we're going to write the book and we're just doing a real special pre-sale. 100, and no email list required. Why? Because she's fucking already famous. So when people come at me with certain things they want to challenge, and let's just talk about this. When you challenge me in the comments, and I love that stuff because it's fun, I may make you look like a fool, because many people will bring to me what I call partial information. They'll read something and they will not investigate it. And then when I go investigate it, it's like, oh, this is why this has happened. And this just goes back to what I said, because making money is hard. And anyone that comes at you like it's super easy, you should be like, I hear you, but I'm going to think about that. I'm going to do a little research. Because once again, look at people's track records. Go online. It's very hard to hide shit online. Go online. My first book came out in 2009. It's on Amazon. You can go look at it. This YouTube channel, it has a start date, 2009. It's 2015 now. There's a track record. There's history. When I go look at someone and I can't find nothing, I mean nothing, yet you making $100,000 a month and you got a cheap comb over and a cheesy jacket on, and I can find nothing. I go to LinkedIn, I go to Google, and there's nothing about you. Okay, I'm going to give you another little secret here, and this is something that you're going to discover your first year in business. You know what the hardest problem that all of us have in business, whether it's online or off? Being discovered. Being discovered. Having people find out who you are, absorb your message, like your message. It's a several step process. So if someone comes out of nowhere and you can't find anything, what did I just say? Our biggest problem is being discovered. It's being discovered. So if you can't find anything out about this person, when everybody's got the problem, I got to advertise, I got to put myself out there, but you can find nothing about their former business. That's because it's like Casper, the friendly ghost. You can see through that bitch because it doesn't exist. It never existed. Because there was one person someone put in the group, and once again, I don't fully know, so I'm not mentioning names, but I did a little reference check, and the person did a Reddit AMA and was eaten alive. And then I checked with some friends who do Reddit, and they said he essentially created a straw account to ask himself questions. Now that tells me a lot. Number one, the internet is a motherfucker. The internet is a motherfucker. They found that out and ate his ass up alive. Now, this is the thing. I don't really know Reddit that well. I've got an account. I go over there now and then. I, in my business savvy, know that those people are mercurial when they find that you're fucking around. They will eat you alive. I wouldn't do that, but I have enough sense not to do it. But my whole point is, when you're looking at these people, look at your struggle. Look at what you're going. One of the reasons I like Marie Folio is she'll tell you, she was doing dance videos, bartending. She was doing all kinds of side hustles. And it was years before her B school, her products. It was years. She worked for years. She wasn't making any money. And it just one day, it just took off. And she got with Tony Robbins. But once again, she tells you she worked for years. It wasn't overnight. It wasn't crisp and quick. It wasn't crisp and quick. It was a struggle. She did a lot of stuff. She had at some point 2 jobs, and that's one of the reasons I respect her, because there it is. It's like, I think she's a Jersey girl, and she had to hustle, and she talks about that. So I can say, okay, I can believe you, Marie. I can understand that, because another thing that someone won't tell you about your first year in business is your ideal can be perfect. It can be amazing. It can be wonderful. And it's going to take society a year or 2 or 3 or 5 to say, hey, we like that now. You just got to keep doing it every day. You just got to keep getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work, getting up, going to work, getting up. And that's a struggle. That's really, really hard. That takes a great deal of energy, effort, and enthusiasm. You have to be super, super enthusiastic about what you're doing, how you want to do it. But it's going to take time. The struggles that you're going through are just grooming. You're just sharpening the stones. You're sharpening the iron on the stone. It's not personal. It's just as you increase your value, as you increase who you are as a person, it's going to get easier. And now this is the other thing that someone did tell me this. It was Carl. Carl told me this. And he sat me down and he said, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, the first 2 years, first 3, they're going to be a bitch. I'm just telling you. Now he said, if you can hang on, if you can hang on, he's like, you're going to have a day where you made more money in one day than you made in a year if you can hang on, because in your business. And he was right. It happened. I mean, when you get to the point where you're paying cash for new cars, where you can do all kinds of stuff that other folks dream of, but people see that moment, but they don't see the moment where you had not $1 in your bank account, you were overdrawn $250. I have not had an overdraft in my bank account since 2003. And it was a big one because I made one mistake and it was just like bouncy, 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 bouncy. I was just, I think I spent like $600 in bounce check fees, and I wrote one wrong check to the wrong place. They cashed early and they just came in, and I got ate alive in fees. I was able to get everyone paid off, but it was just like never again. And that's how I learned how to have more than one checking account for your business. Yeah, I was stupid like that. There was just this one account because I thought I was being cheap. And then I met Francine, and she was like, no, you can't do that. You got to create this ledger account. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. And I was like, I didn't know. That's what I'm saying. Go out and get yourself an account. Spend the money. Just spend the money. Get yourself an account. It will save you more money than you're going to spend. Trust me on this. Trust me. And if you're looking for an account, try to get one now. Because if you're waiting to miss the tax season when they're super busy, they're going to be hard to get a hold of. Especially the really good ones. The really good ones. But yeah, that first year of business is what it is. And it's not like you can't do better in time. It's just, it is what it is. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard because you're doing many things that you've never done before. So, just saying. Now, if you like the content of this live hangout, which is another experiment, there's a lot of experiments coming, I want you to, want you to go below the video and get on one of the email lists or all of the email lists and absorb some of the helpful content that will either teach you how to make money, save money, how to think. There's a lot of goodies down there for you. And if you're really crispy, just go ahead and become a founder. Do that today, because once August 26th comes, you'll still be able to get everything. It's just the pricing structure is going to change dramatically. The courses will be individually priced, but right now, anyone that does the Founder Special gets everything that's in there, plus everything that's coming. And if you want to be an affiliate of mine, and this is going to be a nice affiliate program, you must be a member of the Hustler Mindset Life Skills platform. You must take some classes. You must know what you're talking about. I'm no longer going to have people trying to sell stuff that don't really know about my products, because it's a different thing. And literally, if you come in now, and once we release the affiliate program, you could get it could be free. It can literally be free, plus you got profit. And I'll go into a little bit more as we get closer and closer to that. So with that, if you like the content of this video, you should be sure to subscribe and make yourself available to one of the or all of the email lists, because each list gets different stuff. And with that, I'll see you in the next session.